Hi everyone, it's my complete pleasure to provide another session of personal messages to you. I had such a huge response. Over 70 people have asked for a read, and I have drawn a line under it now because I'm thinking of other ways of actually supplying this after these sessions are complete. But I promised that I would give everyone who requested a read, and that's what we've done. We've drawn a line on it now because we're thinking of maybe doing some Facebook Lives or something, changing it in July to something else. But I'm dedicated to linking in with your higher self, to speak soul to soul, to see if there's any intrinsic value you can get from knowing your own soul language and getting some information that is pertinent to this moment in time. I always think it's a bit like a photograph in time. It's sort of like what information is coming through right now for you that's a snippet of what your higher self wants you to focus on the most at this juncture. And yeah, it's my pleasure to be of service to you in these strange and wonderful times, to see if that can assist you in any way in your life. And we have 4 people today who I would really love to connect in with, and our first one of 4 is Annette D. So we're just saying your first names and the initial of your surnames, so it sort of I'm trying to maintain some sort of privacy, really. And then we're always writing at the bottom. Annette, my attention's been caught because there's the most extraordinary rainbow out there. The most extraordinary rainbow. And I want you to look up spiritual meaning of rainbow. It's a very high 5th dimensional rainbow. And I'm going to try and take a photograph for you and see. This is through a mirror, through my window and everything. It's actually following the whole of the mountain range. So I'm going to pause this and see if I can get the photograph, and then I can put this up for you. Things like this don't happen unless they're meant. So bear with me. Okay. Okay, Annette, that was an extraordinary rainbow. Normally rainbows we get, you know, they're in the traditional rainbow style. This was actually like the colour just spread completely over the landscape. And my hope is that my technical wizard of a husband, Nick, who does the YouTubey stuff for me, with me, is able to splice that in for you. If not in the middle of this read for you, then maybe at the end of this particular one. But we hope to get that rainbow because it really felt like it was pertinent to you. It really felt like it was a higher dimensional kind of light rainbow. So what I mean by that is dimensions through time and space. I've got quite a lot on other YouTube videos. You might be interested in just searching through a few of those on my belief structure that talks about different dimensions in time and space. So in the same way as a rainbow, every single colour of the rainbow can be measured by science to vibrate at a certain rate. So red vibrates at a denser rate and a slower rate than indigo and purple, which is the top colour of the rainbow, the traditional rainbow. And therefore the purple indigo is much more flexible, so it can do much more of a curve than the red can. So the higher the rate, the higher the vibration. So all colours are absolutely stunning, I believe. I love them all. I think they're amazing. So just because something is vibrating at a lower rate doesn't mean it has lower value. It just means it's different. Well, what we've been witnessing for some years now, actually, especially within the sort of intuitive development courses I run and in my Enchanted Lands adventures that we've been going on and various other things, is that more of the 5D reality, more of the higher vibrational option of life is coming through. And we occasionally see these amazing rainbows that are full of 5D colours. So they're often more pastel colours. And you often get like another, it's not a double rainbow because we know we can see double rainbows, but there's often another couple of colours which is to do with turquoise and magenta that come together as part of the rainbow. So a lot of this idea of a more loving life, a more caring life, one full of compassion, one where we celebrate everyone else's differences and we go, okay, you vibrate at this unique soul signature, you vibrate at this unique soul signature, and you do too. What can we do when we come together? As opposed to, here are you, and your higher self is looking for you to access that sort of knowledge. It's looking for you to live the very best life you possibly can by raising your own vibrations, by noticing what thoughts are occupying you most of your day. What thoughts occupy you most of your day? And even if they're really, really happy and amazing, what else can you do to heighten your happiness, your clarity, your self-regard, your world? And that this seems to be a real time, a pivotal change for you. It feels like everything's up in the air. It feels like you've just gone, you know, with everything in your life. And it feels like it's going to be a fabulous source of information if you use some of this time now to ask yourself, what is it I really, really, really want? Your higher self is saying, you know, even when we are really happy and we've got all our ducks in a row and we feel like that's it, this is our life, I'm real happy with this. There's still extra things, there's still extra depth of inquiry, there's still extra happiness, there's still extra things. There's more than, there's a more than richness of experience that your higher self is asking you to delve into. So the richness of experience is what it's asking you to pay attention to. Okay. I hope some of this makes sense. I feel like we're all over the place because there's so much and so many things we could go into. But that's our snippet for today. And your card to help you live with this is Vulture Spirit. And it's saying nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted. No experience that you've had, no matter how deep, how painful, how overwhelming, how pooey, no matter what it's been, none of it is wasted. None of it at all. You know, sometimes you get like this, it's kind of like a grey cloud that comes over that sort of like overwhelms you sometimes because you're so used to providing all of this, all of the things that people want of you. You're so good at organising them and organising life and getting it all done, getting it all done. And yet there's this other soul, there's this other voice inside of you that's innocent and that's just wants some frivolity and wants more colour in her life, which is hence the rainbow. I bet you that's to do with that. And wants to have a little bit more spontaneity. So it's like you're intelligent and you can do loads of things and you've got all of that, but it's time. It's time of your life to be able to just, you can keep all of that going if you want to, but at the same time include this other aspect of you, this inner child of you that wants to come up and just change the wardrobe a bit, change your outlook a bit, have some fun and do a few things that are spontaneous, even if it's a bit scary. to allow yourself to experience what it's like to do things a bit differently and in a spontaneous manner. So sometimes we live our life so full of pattern for so long that we convince ourselves that we can't change, or that's it. Maybe and maybe not. I think there's lots of time to explore different yous, and this one wants to come and play now. Okay, sweetheart. Okay, so our next lady who asked for a reading, forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, but it sounds like a song to me. Maiana. So to me, it's like Gaia, so Maiana. So Maiana, may I call you Maiana B? Oh, Maiana, right, okay, deep connection, deep Mama Earth connection, deep deep connection with Mother Earth. And yet there's an aspect of you that's recently come in, which feels like it's the elements of water and air that really is asking you to pay attention to those different aspects. Wow. So it feels like in life you've been warrior woman. So you've had experiences where you've needed to be warrior woman, and like I was just saying, earlier, really, and Annette just pulled the card as well for your group about nothing is wasted. There's a flavour of that there for you as well, really, Maiana. It's like you've reinvented the wheel a few times, and it's given you so much in life, and there is a knowledge within you. You're like one of these wise women. That's who you are. Your higher self is saying you're like a wise woman. Like in the olden days where you get like somebody living in a cottage on the end of a wood somewhere, and the villagers would go to help with healing and chatting to, and lotions and potions and all sorts of different stuff, like alchemy, like witchy woo yummy stuff, that sort of thing. So you have all of that in you. You have all of that wisdom. You have all of that compassion to call upon. But it's like you're searching. It's like you're on a search now for more happiness, more joy. You know that fire in your belly that you get. So you've had the fire in the belly, which says where you've needed to protect others, or you've needed to change things, and you've needed to do stuff. But this is like a creative alchemy that your higher self is talking to me about. I am in my room at Natural Harmony Centre, where I do quite a lot of my sessions, and I have quite a lot of crystals around me. I don't know if you're into crystals or not, but oh my gosh, every crystal here is just humming. It is just like trying to get your attention. So the crystal kingdom is something that you work really well with, and you want me to hold up these two. I've got like a citrine quartz over there that wants to come up, but this apophyllite is shining for you. So that's a gift of light in some way, and this, which is what's that, sodalite and amethyst, someone made for me quite some time ago, which is about 13 moons. So that's about earth, older earth beliefs, paganism, whatever it is label that you're happy with. There's part of you that's lived these lives so many times before that you're kind of over it, it's like you've had so many of these past lives, and all of this stuff, so you don't want to have to relearn it. So I think it's just worth highlighting here that when you go to like crystal healing or crystal making or something, because you are being adorned, I'm seeing you here, somebody's putting feathers in you, somebody's dressing you. He's putting a white cloak on you. There's like aquamarine jewelry going on. There's lots. You're being adorned, right? You're being adorned, and I feel like you're very close to a pivotal change in your life where you can accept and really regale in your where you've got to. Really, you fought to get to where you are now, so it's like, okay, enjoy that part. But it's like anything that you, let's say crystals, because they're shouting at me. So let's say we pick up crystals and you go, oh yeah, I know that feels this and this way, because it'd be a great way of incorporating further intuition. All of our natural innate abilities can be improved with more practice. And so you could just pick one up and say, well, what does this feel like? What am I feeling about that? That's what I call for you remembered knowledge. That's not new. You'll know all of that stuff. And it's said that on Earth, it's when we come across something that we like, oh, we've got no memory of it, we've got no sense of feeling for it, that it's a new thing that we are here to learn at this time. But this feels as if you've done like 2/3 of a struggle life, of a change of life, of shaking it up and about. And you know, you've used an enormous amount of energy to make these changes. And it's as if all of the elementals and the elements now want to help heal you. For you to take a step back a little bit and take stock of where you are. For you to delight in all of the benefits that you've achieved. And then to allow snippets of potential futures to start appearing before you, because there is another way. There are other options for you that are coming soon that will bring you more of that like bubbly joy, giggles stuff that goes on. And you are a joy hero. You follow the joy. You like producing joy. You like spreading that, and you like being part of it. So there's more for you to receive. There's more for you to fill yourself with the joy finding you. So one of the things I would love you to consider is to make a circle of crystals, and then quartz is fine, and then to just choose a crystal or something that represents north to you, and put it in geographically in the north. And north is all about earth. And do the same then. So if you do the north, and then do the same then with east, which is air. It might be a feather or something to show you that. And then you go to south, which is fire, and then you go to the west, which is water. So you're producing a circle, but with the 4 cardinal directions and elements. It's like elementals and elements really want to be fully balanced within you. And you've had quite a lot of fire and some earth, and now air and water are in your life, and they want to be a bigger part of it. Air is all about the mind and how we can make the mind our friend, and water is washing emotions and washing old toxic stuff out the way, and it's renewal. So those are the things, the areas that really want to be balanced more with the earth and the fire. And literally your higher self is saying, just go and sit in the circle and receive some of the love, some of the nurturing, some of the wisdom from the crystals themselves in that display, and from the elements and the elementals. There's quite a lot there going on your card. Nothing is wasted yet again. You know, sometimes when we've got a complex story, you know, we try and carve stuff out, but actually everything is of value. And it's not until we're really seated into some of our soul purpose journey that we understand what that value is. And that's here. You've got it anyway, but more clarity on that is here. Okay, hope that's of use. Okay, my next lady who's asked for a connection is Maria Q. Hi, Maria. How are you? How are you doing? Okay, let's connect in for you, sweetheart. Okay, Marin, this might sound a bit bonkers, but I'm gonna go with it as usual anyway. Oh crikey! You have got like a marathon runner tenacity. You stick with things. You stay with them. You'll see it through. You like to see yourself over the finish line. You like to look back and see what you've accomplished. At the same time, you've got this flexibility and this flow need that comes in also. All around you right now, Maria, are zillions of opportunities in life that are trying to make themselves known to you and trying to find you. And it's like you've gone a little bit strict with yourself. You've gone a little bit inwards. You've gone a little bit kind of quiet and within. And what your higher self is saying is it wants you to get really, really creative and wish your life into being. So what you show me is that you take a whole wall in your house, right? Paint's great. You can always paint over it later. Don't worry. Take a whole wall and start to put creative projects and stuff on there. You have got so much that's trying to bubble up and trying to get out there in the world. You don't know which way to go, what to say. So write up some quotes, write up some poems, some songs, some music. Stick label covers on the wall. Textures are coming in, like you want a whole new wardrobe and you want a whole new textures and you want to feel differently. It's like the snake. It's like you're at that process right at the moment where you're shedding a skin and you don't quite know what your new skin's going to look like. I mean, most snakes, when they shed a skin, they've repeated the pattern, only it's bigger. Yours can be very, very different pattern, and you don't know what the pattern is yet because you haven't captured all of this wonderful muse inspiration is. So first point of call, please, please, please capture all that creative, juicy stuff that you've got going on. Get it all on one visual wall. There's something about when you see everything all in one place. You know, a little ditty journal isn't going to do it. It needs to be a big space. So you can collect materials and stick them on. You can play with colours. You can play with shapes. You can play. Lots and lots and lots of different avenues of joy. Put them all on the one wall and then take a step back. Oh, God, the beauty of perspective. And then you can look at your whole wall of all these creative ideas, and some of them will just pop for you. Some of them will pop out to you and go, me first, me first. And then you'll have more of an idea of where you want to invest your energy as you move forward in life. You'll have more of an idea of what shape it is that you're now comfortable with, which you've outgrown, because your higher self is saying you've definitely outgrown some jobs, people, situations, buildings. You've definitely outgrown loads of stuff. And you're not giving yourself permission to really look at what else is out there. And this vision board, a big, big wall of visionary stuff, creative stuff, what it does is it moves energy. It moves it out of you, out of your solar plexus, out of your creation womb area, through your heart of compassion. It gets it out of you onto wall so you can actually visually see what the concept of the new you is becoming. So try not to fight it. You get more of what you resist. And this is an inquiry right across the board. It's relationships, work, it's the lot. And it's like, you know, we're at a moment here where you can have a rebirth without all of the struggle, because some gems are in their place and you want them to stay there. And yet other areas of your life are just up for grabs, Maria. It's a brilliant time for you for that inner self-inquiry and just really surrender to the options that you've got out there and surrender to what the truth is that your wall tells you. Yeah, and just have some fun. Have some fun with it. Your higher self is very clear on all of this right now. Have some fun. Okay, your card then. Oh, your card is the Dear Spirit. Yeah, bring a gentle touch. So yeah, in your inquiry, be thorough but gentle. Okay, sweetheart. Okay, so before I go on to our final person of today, a card's coming through very strongly for Maiana. So here's yours, sweetheart. Peacock Spirit. Let it shine. There you go. That was really interesting. It's like we completed everything and yet there was still a thread there to be added. And so you waited until I completed that one beautifully, I hope, for Maria. And then, yeah, you pop straight back in at the end. So hope that's helpful. Let it shine. All that you are, really. Okay, so our person for today is Steve W. So this is for you, Steve. So I'm going to have a little connect in, see what it is you want to talk about today. Okay, Steve, so you've got a few things you want to talk about today, but the first thing that you were very clear on there was your physical. You want to talk to me about your physical layer first, and then you want to go on to some other things. So physically, you're telling me that you're beginning or will be beginning to have a bit of a sore throat. Now, in our household, in our family, when anybody gets the beginning of something, we always have that expression of let's nip it in the bud. Let's get it when it first shows itself before it grows into anything else. And what we use at home is a lovely old-fashioned way of dealing with sore throats. And also I know a lot of medical herbalists recommend it, and that's to use sage. The purple one has more medicinal values in it. It's antimicrobial and antibiotic, I do believe, but don't take my word for that. I'm not a medical herbalist. You can look that one up. But basically having, just like 3 leaves of that in a nice teapot, let it stew, or a mug or something, let it stew for 5 minutes and then gargle with it during the day. Definitely don't swallow what it is that you're gargling. Just spit that out and just have a nice gargle so it's really coated several times during the day. And then it kind of like stops it from growing into something that you really don't want. So I would recommend some action that you would like to take for your own health to do with your throat. So you might as well, just have a go at gargling during the day with the sage, and then that'll get rid of it. Nipping it in the bud is much better than having to heal things when they're deep-seated. And the other thing that comes to mind is you might benefit from some Epsom salt baths. Or some people don't like going in baths, so you can just get a bowl with some Epsom salts in, some warm water, and just put your feet in it for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes a long soak in a bath is really great because your skin absorbs the magnesium, and so it really just helps to take out the lactic acid out of the muscles, whether you're an athlete, or we've been doing too much gardening, or whatever it happens to be, overuse of muscles when they cramp up or when they're getting a bit stiff, then Epsom salt baths are great for that. I feel, for me personally, when I'm doing quite a lot of intuitive work, sometimes the energy in our etheric field gets a bit sticky, and when I've had an Epsom salt bath, I come out feeling, wow, it's actually cleansed all of that. the gribbly bits off as well. So I think there's something quite magical about Epsom salts that I do highly recommend. And that's the first thing that you came to me with, Steve. Now, your higher self message is very, very clear. It's kind of like you want to give yourself a pat on the back. It's like, it's okay to do that. It's more than okay to do that. It's like, give yourself a pat on the back about what you've achieved and what your life is now. You know, we can't live by other people's judgments and other people's measurements and all the rest of it. And we reach a certain time of life when it's a bit like, bugger it. And, you know, your higher self is saying now, you know, there's some major lovely stuff in your life. Look at being really grateful and pleased with yourself about who you are, what you've achieved, the peace and the beauty that surrounds you, the eclectic sort of conversations that sometimes you might have, the different way that you hear people in the world. You know, I'm convinced that everybody's got a unique soul signature and we're all made completely different. But I also believe we're all part of the one soup of energy, the one potentiality of field of energy. And your higher self is asking you to search for the gratefulness for yourself and of yourself. Not of others and bits and bobs and things, but of yourself. It's saying, hey, let's sit within. Let's have a look at us, inside of us, and find out what really makes us happy and just do more of that. Find out what really makes us content and do more of that. And let go of any areas where, you know, it's as if your higher self wants to make sure you understand that where you used to want to strive in certain areas, that in now not needing or wanting to strive in any of those areas is a good thing, and to become peaceful with that knowledge. You feel a bit sort of Zen-like, a bit sort of, you know, like, oh, wise one. Steve, it feels like there's a big playful side of you that wants to have more fun and playfulness and spontaneity and a bit more sort of like, and yet there's this other side that feels quite rich spiritually, to be honest, that wants to enjoy the calm connection with nature, enjoy the wilds of nature, and go into your wise self, your wise wisdom, Zen self. That one feels like it's coming in more and more now for your attention, your time, and your pleasure. Okay, Steve. And your card for you, because remember you're going into you and you're being grateful for yourself, to yourself. And you've got the Peacock card, which is Peacock Spirit, and the message is, let it shine. I love that, don't you? That's your message about you. Let you shine to you. Okay, Steve, I hope that makes some sort of sense. Lots of love, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.